What if I told you that your biggest fears are not what you think they are? That the things keeping you up at night, the moments that paralyze you, the doubts that whisper in your ear, they're not actually stopping you. They're revealing something deeper. Think about it. How many times have you held yourself back, not because you couldn't do something, but because fear convinced you that failure was inevitable? How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers, not because they weren't meant for you, but because fear whispered, "You're not ready"? But here's the real question. What if fear isn't an obstacle? What if it's a map? A compass pointing you toward your next level of growth? Psychologists say that fear is one of the most misunderstood emotions. We treat it like a stop sign when, in reality, it's a doorway. The problem isn't that you feel fear, it's that you don't understand it. And that's what we're going to change today. The science of fear, why your brain tricks you. Fear is one of the oldest survival mechanisms in human history. Your brain is wired for safety, not success. Thousands of years ago, fear kept us alive. It warned us of predators. It kept us from dangerous environments, and it ensured our survival in a world where a single mistake could mean death. But here's the catch: your brain doesn't know the difference between real, physical danger and emotional discomfort. It reacts the same way whether you're being chased by a lion or simply about to step onto a stage and give a speech. Your hands sweat. Your heart races. Your mind fills with 1,000 what-ifs. But in reality, you are not in danger. You are in transition. The fear response trap. Here's what happens when fear takes over. 1. Your brain exaggerates the risk. It convinces you that failure will be catastrophic, even when, logically, you know it won't be. 2. It creates false narratives. I'm not good enough. I'll embarrass myself. What if they judge me? 3. It paralyzes you with avoidance. Instead of pushing forward, you stay stuck, trapped in indecision, waiting for the fear to disappear. But here's the truth. Fear never disappears. It only transforms. The people who succeed in life aren't fearless. They've just learned to reframe fear as fuel. But here's the thing. Discomfort is the only thing that leads to growth. Without it, you remain stagnant, stuck in the same patterns, the same habits, the same mindset. If you're constantly seeking comfort, you'll never discover your full potential. You'll never uncover what's on the other side of fear: your dreams, your goals, your success. Think about it this way. When you were a child, you feared falling when you first started walking. But you did it anyway. You fell, you got up, and you tried again. Why? Because that fear of failure didn't stop you from pursuing something more important: freedom, exploration, and growth. The same principle applies to adulthood. Your inner child knew that growth was worth the discomfort. Somewhere along the way, we forget that simple truth. Fear creeps in, and we begin to shrink instead of expanding. But the key to unlocking your potential is remembering that you are capable of more than you think. You've done it before, and you can do it again. When fear creeps in, it's easy to fall into a trap of overthinking. You start imagining all the things that could go wrong, and the fear of failure paralyzes you. You tell yourself you're not ready, not qualified, not good enough. But that voice is not truth. It's your comfort zone talking. It's the part of your mind that wants to keep you in a box, safe from the uncertainties of life. The truth is, you're ready. You've always been ready. The only thing you need to do is take that first step. This step doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, perfection is the enemy of progress. We often let our fear of not being perfect stop us from taking action at all. But here's the secret. Taking imperfect action is far better than taking no action at all. It's through the act of trying, failing, and learning that we become better versions of ourselves. Fear doesn't go away just because you wait for the right time. It only lessens when you face it head-on, with courage and determination. Now, I want to challenge you to think about fear differently. Rather than seeing it as an obstacle, start viewing it as a guide. Fear tells you that you're stepping into new territory, that you're on the brink of something incredible. If you're not afraid, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. The most successful people in the world feel fear regularly. But what sets them apart is that they don't let it control their action. The emotional truth? Fear isn't the enemy, it's the guide. Think about this. Have you ever noticed that fear and excitement feel the same? The adrenaline rush, the rapid heartbeat, the heightened awareness. The only difference is the story you tell yourself. Imagine two people standing on the edge of a cliff. One sees fear, the possibility of falling, the risk of failure, the worst-case scenario. The other sees exhilaration, the thrill of the unknown, the possibility of flying, the best-case scenario. Same situation, different mindset, different outcome. So what does this mean? It means that every time you feel fear, you have a choice. You can either label it as a threat and shrink back, or you can label it as an opportunity and step forward. Because the emotional truth is this: fear only exists in the gap between where you are and where you're meant to be. Breaking free, the 3-step fear mastery formula. So, how do you stop fear from controlling you? How do you turn it into your greatest tool for success? Here's the 3-step formula. Step 1. Name the fear. Call it out. Fear thrives in the shadows. The more you avoid it, the bigger it becomes. But the moment you call it out, you strip it of its power. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Be brutally honest. Not just the surface-level fear, but the root cause. Is it rejection? Is it failure? Is it losing control? Once you name it, you can work with it. Step 2. Flip the script. Reframe the narrative. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what if I succeed? Instead of, what if they judge me? Ask, what if they're inspired by me? Because here's the truth. The fear you're feeling is actually a sign that you're stepping into something bigger. You don't fear things that don't matter. Fear only shows up when you're on the edge of transformation. Step 3. Do it scared. Take action anyway. This is where most people get stuck. They wait for fear to disappear before taking action. But the secret is, it never will. Fear doesn't fade before action. It fades through action. Think about when you learned to swim, ride a bike, or speak in front of a group. The first time, it was terrifying. The second time, a little less. The third time, manageable. The 100th time, you barely thought about it. Fear isn't conquered by overthinking. It's conquered by doing. The more you expose yourself to what scares you, the less power it has over you. The truth about fear and success. Every successful person you admire, whether it's a billionaire entrepreneur, a world-class athlete, or a visionary leader, has felt fear. The difference? They move forward anyway. Oprah Winfrey was terrified before her first TV appearance. Elon Musk has admitted that every major risk he's taken scared him. Michael Jordan missed over 9,000 shots in his career, but kept taking them. What separates them from everyone else isn't talent. It's courage, fear, and the illusion of safety. Most people cling to their comfort zones because they believe that staying where they are is safer than stepping into the unknown. But let me tell you something, safety is an illusion. The job you're too afraid to leave, it could let you go tomorrow. The relationship you're afraid to walk away from might be draining the life out of you. The dream you keep postponing is slowly fading, waiting for you to claim it. Security doesn't come from avoiding fear. It comes from learning how to walk through it. Your challenge? Step into fear. So here's my challenge for you. Identify one fear that's been holding you back. Just one. It could be starting a business, having a difficult conversation, putting yourself out there, or making a bold move. And instead of avoiding it, face it. Take one small step toward it today. Because on the other side of that fear is the life you were meant to live. Now I want to hear from you. What's one fear that's been holding you back? Drop it in the comments, because sometimes saying it out loud is the first step to overcoming it. And if you are in your mind, check out my next video on rewiring your brain for success.